back. Marie Simpson with us once again from Cabrini. We're going to talk a bit about managing your blood sugar level for diabetics during the holiday season, which I'm sure can be a real issue.
Yes, it can.
Thanks for coming by, Marie.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you. Yeah, the holidays can be a really, unpredictable time for people with diabetes. Well, for everybody, but if you have diabetes, all the stress, the unknowns of the season, everyone knows that Christmas isn't always the happiest time for everyone.
Right.
That can bring up a lot of extra feelings, family coming in, that can bring extra stress sometimes.
Right.
And we find that stress in and of itself is one of the biggest reasons that we have blood sugar spikes. So if you're trying to manage your blood sugars, take a look at how much stress you're having to deal with, for one.
Yeah.
So
that's a good starting point, huh?
That's one of the biggest ones, because any anxiety you have, I don't care if you've gotten cut off at the red light and somebody pulled out in front of you. I mean, just even those little bits of stress can actually raise your blood sugars. And so in those times, you've got to figure out ways to actually cope and deal with the stress in a healthy level, whether that's praying, whether that's going out for a walk, basically even just getting a glass of water just to deep breathe and de-stress.
Take a minute and relax a little bit, and that's a good point. Go out for a walk around the block.
And how about the ages? Does it matter the stress level? Does it affect young ones as well as elders?
It doesn't matter how old they are. Even at Diabetes Camp in Leesville during the summer, that whenever the kids are away from their parents for the first time, for many of them, and then they're dealing with new friends that they haven't seen in a while. That can be stressful, and we'll notice blood sugar spikes. But we anticipate that, and so we make sure that we have plenty of activities, outdoor activities for them to do, and lots of water for them to drink, sugar-free fluids, so that they can actually flush any of that extra sugar out of their system. Of course, food is the next biggest culprit, right? Because you've got great Aunt Sally's, dressing.
There is so much
desserts
food available all the time.
This whole season, and that's great. I mean, I want people to enjoy their food in the holiday season. Life's too short to live without having that chocolate or whatever your favorite treat is. But just be mindful about that, mindful about how much you're taking in, and making sure that you are balancing that with plenty of water and plenty of exercise.
You keep mentioning water, so that sounds to be the balance that we need with the sugar intake?
It helps. It helps. A big part of that is making sure that you have plenty of water so that your body has the ability to deal with that extra blood sugar. And it helps your kidneys to flush out any extra.
Good to know.
Moderation.
Moderation.
That's tough, though, isn't it, in the Christmas season?
And then balancing it with plenty of physical activity. And stress, decompression, just making sure that you don't get stressed.
Like you said, we mentioned this a little earlier, take a walk around the block.
Yes, that's really, really helpful. It's one of the best ways. Most people can take a walk, even if you can't get to the gym, you can at least, even if it's going to the mall or to the hospital even, where they have security guards, and you're in, air-conditioned or heat, and that way you can walk and just de-stress.
Diabetes 1 and 2. You were just telling us, and I wasn't even aware of this, the differences between the two. Type
1 and 2, we used to call it type 1 juvenile diabetes, but we stopped calling it that because you can get it at any age. Most kids are diagnosed as young, but we have people as old as 55, 60s, and 70s being diagnosed with it for the first time. That's when the pancreas decides it's not going to make any more insulin, usually from an autoimmune disease or response. That's the typical way that it's diagnosed.
And it just comes on so
suddenly. Quite suddenly. You have no idea that that's what's happening.
Wow.
Until you start experiencing the signs and symptoms. Increased thirst, one. That's why you need to have plenty of water to help flush.
Always drink that water.
Right, and then typically people will get, either gain or lose weight. Typically with type 1, we'll see weight loss. With type 2, we'll see weight gain.
Oh.
Marie, always good having you.
Thank you. I appreciate the
Merry
opportunity.
Christmas. You look very festive, by the way.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to y'all.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.
Just a minute, we're going to visit with Jared Rains. He's going to tell us about a couple of Christmas events at Cabrini. Stay with us.